Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. This is a podcast about the strange and unusual, the secret and conspiracies, the fringe and the supernatural. This is a show where we do little to no research on our topics. We are not professionals in any field except speculation. This is the Secret Transmission Podcast, and today we're going to talk about the Frantic Caller. Welcome. I am your host, Toby. Introduce yourself, please.
I'm DJ.
Kristen.
Okay, guys. So, we've already done one episode about something that happened on the talk show Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. So, I came across this clip, and it's pretty interesting. So, I figured today we could listen to this call and try to see if it's a true frantic caller, or if this is someone making an elaborate hoax trying to mess with all the listeners of the Coast to Coast AM radio show. So here is the clip from Coast to Coast AM.
Line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens, Art, they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military. I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharge.
I started getting...
So what do you think of that phone call so far?
I don't know. I don't really have much to say about it.
Do you think this guy is telling the truth? Like, I mean,
If he's not, he's a really good actor.
he's whimpering and crying and...
He sounds like he's walking really fast somewhere or running. I mean, he says that he's traveling through different, countries.
So he says he did work for Area 51. He was let go for medical leave. Did he say why?
No, which, in this case, it doesn't take much for someone to make somebody out to be crazy, especially when there are believers and non-believers. And if you run around going, aliens really do exist, and they're like, why were you released from Area 51? Oh, medical leave. Oh, because you're a nutbag. So there's different ways of it. I mean, just depends on if you're a believer or a non-believer, I guess.
But does this guy... Okay, let's put it this way.
He sounds legitimately scared.
Oh, that's what I was about to ask. Do you think he believes what he's saying so far?
Sure.
You think he's...
Yeah. I mean, people believe much dumber things, so...
Did he ever say his name? He was talking about them triangulating the position, and I'd have to look it up, but I can't remember when this call took place, but I want to say it was 99.
So by triangulating, do you think it means by like pinpointing him, like satellite wise?
Yeah, like some kind of
Tracking
GPS,
device or
yeah,
something?
kind of I'm trying to look and see when it was. Okay. So I just looked it up, and it looks like this call took place in September 11th, 1997.
Could you triangulate? Can you triangulate landlines? I don't really think you have to triangulate a landline.
No, I think that's a pretty, solid.
But if it was a 90, what did you say, 98?
97.
97? There's
Cell
cell
phones
phones.
were just reaching
Yeah.
popularity, though.
But if you worked for Area 51, I bet you could afford a cell phone.
Right.
Probably.
The government. So.
And you'd have their secret technology that no one else has. They had iPhones back then.
Okay. Now
They had alien technology. It's Area 51. They reverse engineered everything that they found at the crash site. Right? No?
No.
Okay, so when that clip kind of went silent, something happened to their station. They got knocked off the grid. So let's hear them rebooting everything and trying to continue to talk to this guy.
In some way, something knocked us off the air, and we're on a backup system now.
It's the government, or
I don't know.
it has to be something, though.
Well, did you hear? Now, you tell me because you were listening.
That was awful strange.
There was a really weird guy on the air when it went off?
Yeah, real weirded out.
Like going sort of sounding paranoid,
Yeah.
schizophrenic?
Like crying and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how far into the conversation was it when it went off?
Just a couple, about 15, 20 seconds, I'd say.
Oh, you
Something like that.
you guys you really missed the call then, and I've got a feeling somebody didn't want you to hear it.
Yeah, because it was really strange. All of a sudden, I'm hearing Mark Furman, and when I
That's right. Well, the
listening
network, of course, went immediately to a backup tape while we tried to figure out what blew up here.
Uh-huh,
So that's what you heard happen.
uh-huh,
And then we're now on a backup link system
uh-huh.
to be on the air at all right now. So, well, I'm telling you.
Am I on the air right now?
You're on the air right now. Well, you better be, yes.
And,
Where are you, by the way?
I'm in Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, I called the other night, and I wanted to ask two things.
Real quick.
Well, I wanted to say one thing, and I wanted to ask another.
Real quick.
I wanted to ask if you could play that remote viewing one when you were while you go to Egypt,
Yes.
and also I wanted to know all this stuff about Area 51, if it's like the government's trying to put it out there like that, so like some other places isn't being watched as much.
In other words, it's a big decoy. I see what you're saying here, and apparently we'll be back after the news, I think. Sandy Beach here, inviting we lost all transmit capability on this end. Here in Nevada, the transmitter went belly up suddenly for some unknown reason. I've never seen it do this in all the years that we've been on the air. I have never seen the transmitter in this way just simply fail, massively fail, like a massive heart attack of some kind. And so we have gone to a backup system to get signal to you right now, and I presume it is getting to you right now.
What do you think of that little piece of fact? That they just lost all connection. They lost their power. They were off the grid for a second. When by the end of that, the frantic caller is what it's known as. Is that weird? Is that a coincidence? Do you believe that there was something there that was trying to be covered up? What do you think?
I don't think it was a coincidence. I think it was either the frantic caller trying to stage something, and if he was staging something, he was doing it really well.
He was doing it so well that he knocked off their whole station.
Well, that could have been part of his...
Could have been just a weird coincidence.
I don't think it was a coincidence.
You think?
What if the guy actually still works at Area 51? They're like, dude, let's call these people and fuck with them.
But still,
And then we had the technology. Let's just go ahead and throw their shit off the grid, just to give them an even more.
well,
Well,
just
that's what I'm saying. If
hooked up
it's
situation.
an act,
say that again.
if it's an act, it's a really good act.
He's fine.
Like, it was very well planned out. They planned to knock them off the air.
Right.
To kind of try to confirm it or something.
See, and that's kind of what that guy was trying to say right there at the end, who Art was talking to when they got their stuff back up and running. He's fine. Was that this could possibly be just a giant, I don't know,
Like a well-planned hoax.
Yes, to further make you think there's something at Area 51.
But then again, like the caller said that they,
Damn it, you DJ!
like the callers, dang,
Jesus
how long
Christ.
is that thing? Like the caller said that it went off 15 to 20 minutes,
20
or 15,
seconds.
20 seconds into the thing, so they didn't even hear all of it.
I think they did. I think most of the broadcast got out because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to find a recording of it, 20-something years later.
Well, they said it was still recording on their end, but it went to a backup thing.
I guess so. I guess we don't know if
So
it was actually still broadcast.
they could they're recording there in there on a machine, so they're able to post this later on. That's why.
Right.
I mean, so.
I guess I don't. I should have looked a little more into seeing if that broadcast actually made it out to radios or not, or if this is just a file from their system. Because that would be interesting to know too. But I don't know, because the radio station that they're affiliated with started playing music because they lost their signal. Is what I understand.
Right, but they realized they lost signal, but he may not have realized it unless someone, I'm sure there's somebody monitoring it, but it may not have been as good as monitoring as it is nowadays, where they have a lot of people doing each job. And then when they finally realized it, then they threw it to the music. But
right. So, again, do you believe that this guy was actually a ex-employee of the Area 51 and that he's trying to get a message out about interdimensional beings of some sort?
Yeah, why not? I'll give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Sure.
He's trying to spread a message.
I think there's lots of things the government covers up. This could be one of them.
you think if you have to work at Area 51, they'll put you through like a major mental health evaluation?
You would think that. We did the same thing for the Navy. That doesn't mean it's... Those things that the...
That's Ollie speaking. If you hear the little baby in the background, that's Ollie. This is his first podcast, so just don't mind him. What were you saying about that?
Oh, they do put all government employees through major mental testing and psychological testing. Just because they put you through it doesn't mean it's not easy to pass.
Right.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is like probably working there, like, and dealing with, I'm sure if, but I'm sure if you work there, then people are going to pretty much tell you every conspiracy that they know and all their stories that they know if they find out that you're working there. So I would see that as a job where one could like easily be like driven insane to a point to where they're just like are paranoid about everything.
See, my belief on Area 51, if it is a true cover-up of some sort, if it is some kind of all the secrets are at Area 51, I believe that there would be sectors, different sectors, and only information is provided to certain people in certain sectors. So Sector A would never know everything that Sector B knows, and Sector B doesn't know what Sector C knows, right?
Right, and that's a pretty big risk about letting somebody off, just because, if he does know a lot, you think, like, I'm sad to say, but I'm sure it's possible that the government wouldn't just find a way to just off you and cover it up. Like,
Right.
how can, that's a big risk going, well, we're going to let you off for medical leave. We're just trusting you to keep all this big secret.
Yeah, I think that if you've got those kind of secrets, you're a dead man. But what I'm saying is, what if people from Sector A and Sector B knew that there was this crazy guy in Sector C who was already a conspiracy theorist, and they were like, hey, listen to this. You give him some information, we'll give him some information, and make him believe that we are hiding aliens here, because he has no idea what goes on in these other sectors. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, someone's just kind of playing a prank on him.
Like an in-office prank that's gotten too bad.
Yeah, it got out of control, way out of control. But that still doesn't answer for them getting knocked off the air. That's what makes this a really interesting clip.
I mean, that could just be, I mean, like I said, I don't know. I mean, not necessarily like I mean, I guess it could be like a weird coincidence, but I mean, I guess there's a first time for everything, but I don't know. But that was like, when did they start first using like satellites and stuff?
The mid-'80s.
So, I mean, I guess if it's,
Triangulate his position, using all kinds of crazy technology to knock out their signals.
Must know some really good shit if they're using satellites on him.
So do you believe that there's something at Area 51? Do you believe that in all of that whole story?
Do I believe that Area 51?
Well, we know Area 51 exists. Do you believe like the Roswell incident and all that, the aliens, or that there's aliens at Area 51 and it's so, because, you know, you think of Area 51 and everyone's like, oh, why is it so protected?
Yeah.
Is there any reason like it's more protected than other facilities? Could there be any other reason?
Sure, there could be. I mean, there could be anything.
There's got to be something good there because, I mean, if you could, with the government's capabilities, if they could easily just take something off the map, they could easily just, like, destroy this area and move it somewhere and, like, continuously move it and
the way I look at
start
Area
over
51,
and over and over.
Area 51 is a top secret Air Force base.
Right.
So if there are flying saucers or anything like that at Area 51, they're probably government property. As in, like, not an alien crashed on Earth and the government took it from the aliens, more like the government made it, like experimental prototype things.
Right.
Which, sure, if Area 51 is located in New Mexico, something could have been going on in the 50s to cause the Roswell incident, but it was most likely not aliens. Due solely to the extreme size of the universe.
I hope if I ever go to Area 51, it's like a mess hall there. And then, like, I don't know if you've ever been up north or anything, but they have these things called Quaker Steak and Lubes. It's supposed to be Quaker Steak and Lubes like that, but it's called Quaker Steak and Wings. And on the top of the ceiling, they have upside down flipped up cars. Maybe at Area 51, like, they have upside down flipped up UFOs hanging over you while you eat. Just so it's like,
we're curious about the alien agenda, and you're like, I wonder what their mess hall looks like.
Steak and wings.
Jesus.
With UFOs upside down.
Do you believe that there's some kind of secret at Area 51? That this... Maybe, okay, let's not talk about this guy anymore.
I mean, I know there's an Area 51, obviously, it's on the map, but I mean...
It's a secretive base. The Roswell incident happened near that area. What do you think? Do you think there's alien life?
Whoa, hold on.
That's completely...
That wasn't the question, though.
Do you think there's...
Do I think alien life exists? Yes. Do I think they have been to Earth? No.
What do you think?
Yes and yes.
You do believe that...
I do believe in alien life form.
And you do believe they've...
Because like I said in our other previous things, I can't not believe in it unless it's been proven, like wrong
our
or
Aurora,
not.
Texas episode.
And then do I believe that
go
listen
to that episode if you haven't. It's a pretty good case. It's pretty much the first UFO. Well, I mean, it's probably not the first UFO, but it's one of the more...
Our technology is too advanced for me not to believe in it. Because I believe if we're going to, I mean... Like, I feel like almost whenever, we put our satellites up, in space and then we go to other places, that's like, us invading their, like, territory and, like, almost like breaking a treaty. So what's going to stop them from, like, if they are up to date on technology, I mean, they could just come here, and be secretive about it. But I don't know. I don't know anybody that's ever seen one or anything like that, and I've never witnessed it, so...
Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Whatever, 4 eyes. Maybe you have
You got 4 eyes too. We're both wearing glasses.
Maybe you have alien eyes or reptilian eyes underneath yours, though. I see you sleep at night. You look weird like an alien.
Speaking of reptilian.
Yeah. So, but this guy, let's go back to the Frantic caller. Do you think he knew something and he got cut off? Like, 100%, like, coincidence or he got cut off because that's all it really can be. It can only be that this was a coincidence and it just happened to cut out at the weirdest time possible, or something knocked this off the grid for a short amount of time. Knocked his phone call off the air.
Well, people were hacking back then, so I don't see why he couldn't have just, knew once he hit the system, he could have just hung up and made it be like all big dramatization.
That's not all it could be, though. It's actually less likely that it's a coincidence than it is a prank.
I mean, yeah, I guess a prank. I didn't throw that in there. That's not bad. Whatever.
Yeah, like it's either a prank or it's real. Like, coincidence is very low on the chance list.
That's a hell of a coincidence, though, if it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's perfect timing. It's perfect, like, I'm sure everyone that was... If all that did broadcast up until when they lost signal, you got to admit, that'd be pretty creepy. You're sitting there listening, and all of a sudden it's silent for a good 20, 30 seconds.
It could have been that, too. It could have been a cliffhanger for a radio show.
They could have done it themselves, yeah.
I didn't even think... That's probably the most obvious one, and I didn't even think about that. I'm trying to think of, like... The government did it, but that...
Because, like, whenever he comes back on and he's like, could y'all hear it over there? How long did it last over there for y'all? Like, it's almost as if he was getting reassurance on his own prank. Did it work? Did I get you?
Gotcha. I don't know. Art Bell's pretty respected on this radio show, or he was when he was hosting it. I don't believe he's hosting it anymore. So, I mean, someone that's pretty respected, you would hope that they wouldn't try to...
I've seen respectful people do way worse for less.
I know, but you would just think that he would be more honest and want to like us, like we
for people to take him serious.
I mean, we want to figure out if some of these things are real or not. But
I mean, I guess that is he would be risking a lot. He'd be scorning his name for
right. Completely just making a hoax, just fabricating the whole thing would be ridiculous. So I want to take fabricating this as a prank off the table, because I don't think that. What do you think that?
No.
Okay. So do you think that, Kristen?
Can be taken off the table. Even coincidence can be taken off the table.
You son of a bitch! I can take stuff off the table, put it in the trash, throw it out. It's gone. No, but continue what you're saying.
No, you can't even take coincidence off the table. Like, it's even though there's a very small chance of that being.
You're not funny. Go ahead.
Even though there's a very small chance of that being what happened, there's still a chance.
Right.
Like, it's still a possibility that it was a coincidence.
So we've got coincidence. Didn't I get him more? So we got coincidence. We got prank. We got government interfering. What was there another one?
Doing it as kind of a cliffhanger for their own show.
Yes. So fabricating it for the show.
Right.
So which way do we lean on this? Like, your honest opinions. I'm not going to judge you that much.
If I had to just take a guess out of the four, I would say he fabricated it for his own show.
Okay.
People are always
calling Art Bell a liar. That's fine.
They're always looking to make a quick buck.
Right. Well, maybe that would get him some more listeners, which would advertising and okay. What do you think, Kristen?
I think it could have been a real caller, and that he just may be a little mentally unstable, and
okay. So you I guess that's another option. Do you believe that the caller believes he's telling the truth? I guess that falls in the coincidence category, though, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, the caller himself feels that he's telling. I mean, he's being truthful and he sounds good. But I'm just saying he sounds a little unstable. But so I think the caller is real, and I honestly just think that it just happened to, for the first time ever, get knocked off air.
Right.
You have to think about that though. Like, anyone who's ever watched a movie has seen an actor that convinces you that they are that character. Right. They convince you without a shadow of a doubt. That is 100 times easier when nobody's looking at you. They're only listening.
He gets these calls 24/7. Like,
right, but I'm talking about the guy.
Wackos.
the guy who's going nuts on the phone, it's so much easier to convince someone that you're telling the truth when they can't even see you.
Can't see your expressions.
All they can do is hear you.
Right. He could be sitting there getting a foot massage.
That makes the acting job.
He must be
that
running
much
while
easier.
getting a foot massage because his ass was booking
He
it.
does.
Sounded
He
like
sounds
was
out of
booking it.
breath. He sounds out of breath. See,
I
what?
don't know. There's just something about like true terror in someone's voice, even if they're acting like, I don't know.
So what do you believe, that this was the radio going off air as a coincidence?
I already said that.
You do think it's a coincidence?
Yes, I think it's
He's
a
telling the
coincidence.
truth. He's telling the truth, but it's still a coincidence.
Yes. I don't think it happened. I don't think the two had anything to do with each other. I just think that it just happened to happen the way that it did.
Right. I'm going to be the skeptic here. I'm going to say that he got knocked off the air because he was about to reveal some real secrets. I don't believe maybe all of what he was saying was...
If I was going to reveal some real secrets, I would have been spilling my freaking
But
guts.
you know what? I'd
have been squealing. I know that he's panicked, and that's...
But to grab someone's attention, wouldn't you say the spiciest thing first? Like, aliens, there's aliens, they're from other dimensions. Now let me tell you about the weapons project that they have. And, I would try to...
If I was gonna spill secrets, I would spill them in the form of a very well-written letter, without being chased by anybody, without making some kind of crazy phone call. I would send an
Da Vinci Code.
Send an anonymous letter to the radio station, let them read it on the air. And
yeah, but I wonder how many letters do you think he gets like that per show, per day?
Well,
yeah, that is kind of weird. Like, why would he pick? He just happens to. I mean, he may be a longtime fan of that guy's show, but
yeah, but what if he's on the run?
But you're on the run, but you go on a live radio show.
He said he was going from town to town, and he kept moving, and he hasn't been using any phones, and that's why he was like, they're going to triangulate me. They're going to triangulate this.
But how many letters does that guy get a day was the question.
Right, yeah.
Sure, you get a ton of letters from Joe Schmo. How many letters do you get from FBI, or not FBI, Area 51 employees?
Probably a lot still, with all the crazies.
Then why are there any FBI employees left?
You mean Area
If
51?
they're chasing... sorry, I keep saying FBI, Area 51. If Area 51 employees write letters to this guy all the time, then why aren't they all dead? Because obviously the Area 51 people are chasing this guy down for telling their secrets.
I want to get a job at Area 51.
And they always get your name on there anyway,
On the
on a
Air
radio
Force.
show. They always get your name
Yeah,
on there and where you're calling from.
The whole beginning.
And I know that he said that he couldn't really say anything, but
that is the one really weird thing about this caller. You're right. Usually they're like, "What's your name? Where you from?" And immediately this guy's panicking, and Art kind of already knows what he's calling about. Like, he says Area 51, and he goes, "Yeah, are you a former employee or current employee?" Like, he kind of guides his questions along. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I didn't think about that before, but he kind of guides the questions to just at the beginning until the guy... Maybe he's just very, very shy of being on the radio.
Maybe he gets a lot of Area 51 phone calls.
And so Art was like,
all right, former employee or current.
Yeah.
Or never an employee.
So, I guess we're going to all three be on different sides of this triangulated fence.
What's new?
Yeah, that's about right. Any last thoughts on the Frantic caller?
You think you would try to find this guy again?
Yeah, I wish, like I said, I should have done some more follow-up stuff to find out if
the guy ever reached back out to him, or...
Yeah, because as far as we know, Area 51 found him, and...
sorry I lost you, I was just hustling to get to a bathroom. And I lost service.
And then he's all calm about it. He's like, so about those aliens.
Yeah. I just really had to go, and so I was almost in tears.
Yeah.
Moving from town to town.
I couldn't find a freaking restroom.
No rest stops anywhere. And that's when rest stops were born.
Yep. Okay, so we're all three on different sides of the fence. I guess that's just gonna be how we're gonna wrap the show up. None of us agree on anything. So, talk to you later. Adios. Wait. We are not gonna end this show at the 30-minute mark. We are notorious for going over our time, not going way under our time. So, what I've done is I've reached out to one of my favorite podcasts that kind of cover the same type of topics. They are called Podcast 1289. And I asked them to listen to the Frantic Caller recording and get their feelings on this topic. And they went above and beyond, and they found out more stuff that we didn't find out. So enjoy the conversation that Podcast 1289 had on the Frantic Caller right after we play a couple of our friends' promos.
Are you feeling the effects of the PG era? Do you miss the beer drinking and middle fingers? There is a cure for you.
Watch Talk Wrestling!
This is Scotty Stevens.
And this is Blown Star.
We bring you all the action and drama of the Monday Night Wars.
WWF Monday Night Raw takes on WCW Monday Nitro from 20 years ago.
Interact with us on Facebook and Twitter.
Download us on Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher.
Hey there, fellow podcast fans. Do you love comic books, and especially Swamp Thing? Get out of the bayou. So do we. Come check out the Parlapod Show, the world's only podcast dedicated to the muck-encrusted mockery of a man himself, Swamp Thing. This is some serious arcane audio as we chat with comic book professionals, reviews, spoofs, talk about back issues. Everything swampy under the sun happens here. Give us a listen at parlapod.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, Podomatic, our YouTube channel, and we're on every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern on podcastradionetwork.net. Join your hosts, Dave and John, parlapod.com. Let's go into the green. We'll see you in the swamps.
And now, joining the discussion are the intellectual derelicts from Podcast 1289.
Anyway, Mike, you back?
Oh, wait. Really, though, yeah. Whisk is a movie with Shaq in it, right?
What? What the fuck are you talking about?
All right, let's go.
All right, game on.
All right, everybody, welcome to the newest installment of Podcast 1289. I'm one of your many hosts, Jesse. Today, we've got the usual particulars. We've got Dan.
Hey, everybody.
We've got Classic Mike.
Homestyle Mike.
I love that.
It sounds like something you would order at Waffle House. Yeah, can I get these eggs smothered and a side of Homestyle, Mike? Thanks. Okay, that'll be 42 cents.
42 cents.
And then back with us today, we've got the holy trinity of guest stars on Podcast 1289. We've got the one, the only, we've got Grant.
Holy Ghost Grant.
As opposed to holy shit, Jesse. We've got everybody's favorite nihilist next to Herzog, of course. We've got John.
All right.
John speak backwards?
Yes, and
John is a master of backmasking.
Can you name some of your previous employment positions? Yeah, I was a backmasker.
You ever heard Paul is dead man, miss him? That was me.
That was me. You tell someone you met me. Don't let anyone tell you any different.
And then we've got from my my own home state, my garbage state of New Jersey, we've got the one, the only, Chef Bagels, everybody.
What's cooking, people?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
It's never going away. It's never going away.
I love it.
Just get used to it.
All right. Today on Podcast 1289, we're going to be doing something special. We've never done this before. We're actually going to be doing an internet collaboration with one of our fellow shows in the Pottern family, Secret Transmission. They invited us to weigh in on a topic that they've recorded. And if you're listening to this, you've most likely just listened to their portion. But they're talking about an incident in 1997 where a man called into the popular paranormal / conspiracy / unexplained radio talk show Coast to Coast AM. And this guy called in claiming that He was a former employee of Area 51, and he had a warning for America and perhaps for mankind. And then something very strange happened in the course of that call, and we are going to be talking about that today, the Coast to Coast AM Area 51 Frantic caller. So, gentlemen, let's pull up the link to this.
So everyone's got their Area 51 Frantic caller on.
No Frantic caller.
That sounds like a really shitty, like, sex position like you'd hear about in, like, 6th grade. Like, oh, yeah, man, holy shit, you heard about the strawberry shortcake, right? Well, dude, I gotta tell you about this thing. They only do it down in Mexico. It's called the Frantic caller.
You just shout into someone's ass.
I've done that.
Okay. 1997, syndicated talk show host Art Bell received a frantic call from a man claiming to have worked in Area 51.
Dun, dun, dun.
Art Bell was always called first in roll call.
The call does not appear to be a hoax. Instead, it has an eerie, spelled eerie wrong.
Eerie.
Man yet? The call was immediately knocked off the air. Could it be that the government or the aliens silenced him to keep the people from knowing their plans?
I love how aliens is in quotations.
You be the judge. I want to be Judge Reinhold. Here we go.
Line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Hello, Art.
Hi.
No, this is Donna.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look.
Sounds like a guy getting a wedgie.
Whether you're using this line properly or not.
Yeah, it was stressful back then.
Have you gotten a wedgie, Jesse? Those suck.
Yeah, dude.
And I gave myself one once when I was 10. That was a mistake.
About a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country.
You mean to tell me this guy was a running man?
They're gonna they'll triangulate on this.
Triangulate is such a bullshit conspiracy word.
Take a good look at Dealey Plaza here. You know, you got a sniper behind the knoll. You got someone on the second floor of the Dowtex building. The triangulation of fire.
Sometimes I'm taking a nap at work and my boss triangulates on me.
All right, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Wonder what kind of benefits working at Area 51 has.
But then a black site, probably pretty cush, I'd say.
It's like, we got a shitload of LSD left over from MK Ultra, so have at it.
They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming.
Disasters.
The military. I'm sorry, the government knows about them.
I'm Jesse Ventura, and this is Hooked on Phonics. He's talking about the some impending disasters.
Oh, something bad's gonna happen in the future? Well, you are batting 1,000, my friend.
Bobby! Art, the ice is gonna break. You could save him.
My favorite thing is he's trying to warn AM radio listeners.
Yeah.
Well.
Discharge.
Alright, so the transmission just cut. Now it's back, and now cut out again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Daft Punk blocked the transmission? I'm really into this music.
In some way.
Now the backup system is up and running. Now it took about half a minute to a minute to get that back up.
The government or...
I don't know.
Damn, Arpel just got sassy with that dude.
You hear? Now you tell me because you were listening.
That was awful strange.
There was a
Is it live Hossein on the line now?
I'm trying to see, like, hear if they actually sound actually bothered, or like they sound like it's acting, you know?
Art Bell doesn't sound like anything. He has no emotion in his voice.
You cannot ruffle Art Bell. He has seen some shit.
15, 20 seconds, I'd say.
Oh, you guys missed. You really missed a call then, and I've got a feeling somebody didn't want you to hear it.
I don't know. My first impression of this, and we can go around the table here on what our individual thoughts are on this, but Cliff Notes for me is, if there wasn't the transmitter drop, I would just say this is bullshit. I mean, this just sounds like anyone getting on the phone, like,
They're gonna wipe out the population centers are, and I peed my pants, and...
Are you that scared?
No, I'm into weird shit, but listen.
But though the one thing that I think maybe we should make, like, maybe a mini-sode about, like, do a little bit of a Radiolab investigation here, a little This American Life. Let's try and get a hold of some people that would be able to tell us if that particular transmitter went down at that day and time that Art Bell says it does on the show.
Yeah, I'd love to know, like, exactly more about that, because I'd like to know if, like, you can actually jam a transmission, like, stuff like that.
Of course, haven't you fucking seen Spaceballs?
No, that documentary was great, yeah.
Yeah, you ever seen Lenny Riefenstahl's Spaceballs?
The fact that that rhymes makes me hate you for it even more.
Blame the Criterion Collection. Moving on, so Classic Mike, what are your thoughts?
No, I'm just thinking he dropped some serious Lucy, and now it's starting to peak. He actually works at Century 21, but he thinks he's an agent for Area 51.
Yeah, he's like, Art, I gotta tell you something, I work for Area 51. Dude, you don't work in Area 51, you're listening to Blink 182, you don't...
What do you think, John, about the transmission?
I think Alex Jones was practicing his act.
I got something to tell you, Art. I love you.
I want to make a man out of you, Art.
What if this was actually Glenn Beck?
Oh, I would buy that, yeah. That does sound like Glenn Beck panicking.
He does cry a lot, that's true.
Yeah. He didn't invoke Godwin's law once, so it can't be Glenn Beck.
Bagels, what did you think about the transmission?
It's tough because that whole transmitter going down is kind of sketch. But honestly, I think that there might be like an War of the Worlds.
H.G. Wells, yeah.
H.G. Wells.
Yeah, I'm bagging H.G. Wells.
Yeah, I haven't read it in a long time. All I remember is I had this great copy where the aliens were getting drunk.
That was E.T.
Anyway.
E.T. gets drunk?
Yeah, E.T. gets drunk. He drinks a 6-pack of Coors.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, E.T. drinks Coors?
Well, he didn't choose to. It's just what was there.
Yeah, but he should know better.
He got stranded on fucking Earth, asshole.
He should know piss when he sees it.
What about you, Dan?
I'm with you guys. Like, I think the only thing that gives this any water is the transmitter going down. And like I know we're gonna delve into it a little bit more, but when it cuts out and then he cuts back in, like,
that's kind of like what happened with Max Headroom when he broke in the first time when the sports dude.
What if it is Max Headroom?
That would fucking rule.
But
something just hit me about this whole fucking thing, because I don't think this is real. I think this is an elaborate stunt, but it just hit me, and I don't know if this is actually possible. I used to have a copy of, like, the Anarchist Cookbook, like, way back in the day. I got off, like, Napster or something like that.
Nice.
And a lot of people don't realize most of that book was about phone phreaking, which was just, like, phone hacking and shit like that. I wonder if this guy did something like that to just add credence. Like, maybe that's how he could, quote-unquote, take down the transmitter, by doing something fucked up to the phone line, sending it to him, and then he's like, yo, I'm gonna get these motherfuckers. They're gonna think it's creepy as hell.
But it wasn't just the phone line. Their main generator, their main power generator shut off, and their backup system kicked in.
He did say something about a backup generator. You are right. That's true.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, he would not only have to have most likely analog hacked the phone line, because this was pre-digital phone lines, he would have also had to literally hack into Art Bell's studio's electrical power and shut it off so an automatic backup generator goes on.
What does anybody think about this being possibly a radio stunt?
That's what I'm saying with the whole, it was a big stunt when Wells did War of the World, and I think that this is kind of one of those things where it's like publicity, but I mean, how many viewers did he have? Like 40?
No, Coast to Coast AM was legendary by this point in several circles. But I mean, I get what you're saying about the War of the Worlds thing. But then again, also, Orson Welles didn't cause the power in Grover's Mill to go out and then the emergency backup generators kick in.
Did just the transmitter go out, or did the power go out? Because if the power went out, it could have been a surge or, whatever.
I imagine it was just the power to the transmitter because on the recording that we listened to, you don't really hear them say anything about like, oh, the lights went out, the power went out. It's just the transmitter went out and now we're on a backup generator. That sounds even scarier because that sounds like, okay, well then whatever this was specifically only targeted the power to that transmitter. It did not affect the power inside the studio with the phone lines, the board to listen. The board didn't shut down. It didn't affect anything like that.
Art Bell even asked the guy, I was like, were you listening and you heard a really weird guy?
Yeah, so it sounds like he was not initially aware that they weren't transmitting anymore, which means it would have had to have been a localized attack on the power to that one transmitter. So that sounds even creepier, like the government was just like, should we shut him down? Yeah, just shut his transmitter off. Well, why not all the power? Listen, dude, budget cuts, man. One power source. That's what we can afford tonight.
My kid's got to get new teeth, all right? Shit's expensive. The dental plan here sucks.
Well, they have dental, but it comes with implants that track you.
My friend Todd works down at Area 48. They're not getting dental for another 9 months.
On you got there, going there.
All right, so definitely creepy. Something we're gonna have to pick up with later.
Yeah, we're going to look into that transmitter. Now, there is a piece of credence to the skeptic's argument in this because at some point after...
It was about a year later.
A guy called back saying he was the dude that we just listened to and that it was all just a joke. So, let's go to that next link. Everyone cue it up.
On September 11th, 1997, a man called in... Hey, that went too quick. On April 28th, 1998, the guy calls back and confesses...
East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, Art. This is Brian.
Hi, Brian.
It sounded like Mike for a minute.
You didn't disconnect me before, did you?
Were you on earlier tonight?
No, not, towards the end of the last hour, you said, East of the Rockies, you're on the air, and your voice was immediately replaced by the operator saying your party has not connected.
Oh, well, see, as you can now tell, I don't screen calls. So
the one guy that should be screening his calls.
Yes.
You have weird people call you for a living, dude. That's your cash crop, my friend.
So that occurs, obviously, sometimes I go to a line and it's dead and nobody's there, and that's what's happened. We just were on the cusp there. Anyway, I'm glad you made it back through.
Yeah, you got all my paranoia buttons running. I always get very nervous when I call you. I'm Brian. I hung up on you last week.
Oh, I see.
And I just figured, damn the torpedoes. I'll just do this and let the chips fall where they will.
All right.
Everybody, I am the Area 51 caller. That's my statement.
He sounded like Butthead. That's my statement.
You claim you're the Area 51
I am the man.
Do the aliens have big thingies?
Fact, Area 51 caller.
Okay.
That part of the way through your spiel, the satellite went down.
I have no idea, and it scared the heebie-jeebies out of me that night.
So if you're this guy, did you bang up my generator?
You owe me about $6,000, motherfucker.
Your generator sucks.
If the call had been completed, it would have been ancient history by now.
Has it occurred to you, as Barbara Marx Hubbard suggested tonight, that perhaps, if you're really what you say you are, you created the reality of the rest of the situation and took down my satellite?
You took down my satellite.
Heebie-jeebies out of me because it means that what I was saying was somehow correct, and it was fabrication kind of.
Yeah, you see, this is where I start to kind of call bullshit on the hoax theory, because this guy is like, Art Bell is even like, yeah, so if this was a hoax, how did my transmitter go out? And he's just like,
I guess it was a coincidence.
I don't buy the argument of A, it was a coincidence, because there's never been a disturbance like that. This show came out in 1984. From 84 to 97, nothing like that ever happened, and from 97 till now, 2016, nothing like that's happened since.
Please, I don't want you to ask me to do this. If I start doing that guy,
You're right about that. Now, let's just take that little sample that you just gave us.
Maybe he was a plant by the CIA to throw them off.
And we'll let the callers be the judge.
Okay.
All right?
I thank you for this opportunity. This has just been driving me bananas for months, and
Yeah, but Jesse, do you think this guy is... I'm not saying, like, okay, like, completely not saying, like, if the first call was a hoax, but is this guy the Area 51 caller? You know what I'm saying?
I think that this is kind of like when the dude claiming to be the Zodiac killer, Eric Wheel.
Yeah.
I think it's like that when Eric Wheel called the Jim Dunbar show and said, "I have headaches." Like, I don't think this is the same guy. Like I said, I don't buy the explanation that it was a coincidence. Like, from 1984 to 1997, there was never a disturbance like this, and then from 97 till now, 2016, there hasn't been a disturbance like it since. And the one time that disturbance happens is when this guy is saying, "I'm from Area 51 and I'm telling you things that I shouldn't be telling you."
Yeah, but how many times do you think Art Bell got a phone call saying, "Yo, I work at Area 51 and I'm telling you things I shouldn't be telling"?
That's a very good question.
You know what I mean? And anyway, even shelving that, is this guy the same caller? Because I definitely think this guy is riding the coattails of the other guy.
Yeah, I get that vibe too. He's like, wow, I never thought I'd be here, and thank you for this opportunity.
It's almost smug, isn't it? It's almost like, oh god, I got you so fucking good, Art Bell, didn't I?
I've ruined your evening a couple months back.
Yeah. You know, I really freaked out a bunch of people. I'm so cool. Like, fuck you, dude. I hope someone does triangulate on you.
Okay, so, I guess the general consensus on here is that, both phone calls sound like bullshit for a multitude of reasons, but the one thing that's left to be investigated is whether or not this transmitter actually went out. So we're going to look into the records for that, and then we're going to contact some experts in the field, radio frequency transmission, etc., and find out, okay, this is the kind of disturbance that happened. What would you need to cause this disturbance? And if it can't be, like, done by amateurs, like, what kind of natural phenomena can do this?
Perhaps we can even talk to them about secret transmissions.
Fuck you.
That was really good. It ties into it.
All right, so that's our 2 cents, which is pretty much like the equivalent of the peso to the dollar compared to other people's 2 cents.
The exchange value is low.
It's in euros.
It's in yen. That's our 2 yen.
But yeah, we're going to look into the transmitter, and we'll get back to secret transmission on that, hopefully with another segment pretty soon. But I think we got a little bit of a mystery here to solve, guys. That'll be another podcast 1289 first. A little bit of investigative journalism.
We'll triangulate on that.
Please stop saying triangulate. Goddamn.
I can't.
Stop trying to make triangulate a thing. It's not going to happen.
Stop it. It's a thing that crazy people like to say when they want to sound official.
Just like sheeple and cuck.
I would like to send out a very special thank you to Podcast 1289 for accepting our weird invitation to join in on this conversation, and they did it at very, very short notice, so thank you guys. Go subscribe to them on iTunes, leave them very nice, lovely reviews. Follow them on Twitter at Podcast 1289. You can also follow us on Twitter at SecretTransPod, or you can send us an email, secrettransmission@hotmail.com. You can also find our show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube. And I would like it if you'd leave us some nice, sweet reviews, too. You can also hear our show on the Podcast Radio Network, on Sundays at 10 p.m. Eastern. We changed days. We used to be on Mondays. We are on Sundays now. So set your alarm, set your calendars. Every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern, listen to us on the Podcast Radio Network. Well, I hope you enjoyed this experiment of a show, and I hope you come back and listen to us, or maybe go listen to Podcast 1289 as we try to explain the unexplainable.
Ready to say goodbye, Roger.